চ্যানেল। আশা করি তোমরা সবাই ভালো আছো। এর আগের ভিডিওগুলোতে আমি তোমাদের ক্লাস 11-এর সেকেন্ড সেমিস্টারে স্টিল আইড আইস থেকে তোমাদের কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার আলোচনা করে দিয়েছি। তারপরে তোমাদের নোবেল লেকচার, অফ স্টাডিজ এগুলো থেকে তোমাদের সমস্ত কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার দিয়ে দিয়েছি। যারা দেখোনি তারা আমার চ্যানেলে গিয়ে সেসব ভিডিও দেখে নিতে পারো। আজকে আমি তোমাদের জিমি ভ্যালেন্টাইন থেকে ও হেনরির লেখা সেখান থেকে কিছু কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার আলোচনা করে দিচ্ছি। চ্যানেলে যারা নতুন চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করে রাখো, আর ভিডিওটা ভালো লাগলে লাইক এবং বন্ধুদের শেয়ার করে দিও। তাহলে বন্ধুরা আরম্ভ করে দিচ্ছি। আমার ফার্স্ট কোশ্চেন, হোয়াট ওয়াজ দ্য নেম অফ দ্য গার্ড ইন দ্য প্রিজন? হোয়াই ডিড আ গার্ড কাম টু দ্য প্রিজন সুসব? Corin was the name of the guard in the prison. A guard came to the prison shop to escort Jimmy Valentine to the front office of the prison's warden. What did Jimmy Valentine do first after coming out of the jail? After coming out of the jail, Jimmy Valentine first headed to a restaurant where he enjoyed a broiled chicken and a bottle of white wine and smoked a cigar of good quality. What did Jimmy enjoy in the restaurant? In the restaurant, Jimmy enjoyed broiled chicken and a bottle of white wine. Where had Jimmy put his suitcase? Jimmy had put his suitcase in the hollow of the wall in rear room upstairs in Mike Dolan's place. Which company did Jimmy claim to be representing? Jimmy claimed to be representing of the new work almond gutted short snap biscuit cracker and frazzled what company? What did Jimmy enjoy in the restaurant? In the restaurant, Jimmy enjoyed a broiled chicken and a bottle of white wine. Where did Jimmy want to go to buy his wedding suit? Whom did he agree to meet there? Jimmy wanted to go to Little Rock to buy his wedding suit. Jimmy agreed to meet Billy there. What is Phoenix? What is compared to the rebirth of Phoenix? Phoenix is the mythological bird that is reborn out of its own ashes. Jimmy transformation from a safecracker to a successful person to compare to the rebirth of Phoenix. After he arrived in Elmore, Jimmy started a new life and became a successful businessman. He was completely reformed into a new person. For this, Jimmy is compared to a Phoenix. Who did Jimmy write a letter to? How did Jimmy refers to Annabelle in his letter? Jimmy wrote a letter to Billy. One was one of his old friends. In his letter, Jimmy referred to Annabelle as an angel and as the finest girl on earth. How did Jimmy enjoy the freedom immediately after being released from jail? Immediately after being released from jail, Jimmy went straight to a restaurant to enjoy the taste of freedom. There he enjoyed a broiled chicken, a bottle of white wine, and smoked a cigar of good quality. Who would take Jimmy from Elmore Bank to the railroad station? Dolph Gibson would drive Jimmy in his horse-drawn buggy from the Elmore Bank to the railroad station. How many solid bolts were there in the new vaults of the Elmore Bank? What type of handle and lock and it have? There were 3 solid bolts in the new vault of the Elmore Bank. It had a single handle and a time lock. What irony do you find at the end of the story? At the end of the story, Ben Price discovered that Jimmy Valentine had reformed himself and turned into benevolent hero. So he decided not to arrest him. He let Jimmy go free. The ending is surprising and iconic. How did nature look when Jimmy was released and came out of the jail? When Jimmy came out of the jail, nature looked beautiful with the birds singing, the waving green trees, and the fragrance of flower everywhere. How many months and Jimmy expected to stay in the prison at the longest? Jimmy had expected to be in the prison only for about the 3 months at the longest. এরপরে আসছি তোমাদের 6 মার্কসের কিছু ইম্পর্টেন্ট কোশ্চেন। হু ওয়াজ মিস অ্যানাবেল অ্যাডামস? হাউ ডিড জিমি কাম টু নো অ্যাবাউট দ্য লেডি? হোয়াট ইমপ্রেশন ডিড মিস অ্যাডামস হ্যাভ অন জিমি? মিস অ্যানাবেল অ্যাডামস আর লাভলি ইয়ং লেডি was the daughter of the owner of Elmore Bank. The boy laughing on the step of the bank was the main source of information for Jimmy. He gave the boy some dreams and came to know that the lovely young lady was Miss Annabel Adams, the daughter of the bank owner. Miss Annabel Adams attracted Jimmy's attention the moment he saw her. According to Jimmy, she was the finest girl in the world. He looked into her eyes, forgot what he was, and became another man. Jimmy's transformation from a safe cracker to an honest man was a result of his falling in love with her. His influence on Jimmy is therefore profound. Who was Ben Price? How did conclude that Jimmy had resumed Berkeley? What did he decide next? Ben Price was the detective was investigate the cases of burglary committed by Jimmy Valentine. A week after Jimmy release from prison, 3 cases of burglary were reported, all through no clue was left. Ben Price found similarity in the style and method of operating. The manner of burglary matches Jimmy's neat, clean, and essay style. So from his personal experience about Jimmy's style of opening, Ben Price concluded that Jimmy had resumed burglary. Ben Price vowed the arrest Jimmy. He decided that Jimmy would have no full term of punishment. He also vowed to see that no more pardons or short times were granted to Jimmy Valentine. I would not do another crook things for the whole world. Who is the person referred to here as I? To whom did he make such a promise, and when was he able to keep his promise? The person referred to here I is Jimmy Valentine, in the infamous safe cracker. He made such a promise in his letter to his old friend Billy. Jimmy told him of his intention to present him his kit of safe cracking tools. Leaving his old profession of cracking safes, Jimmy settled at Elmore and started an honest life of businessman. He fell in love with Annabel and took for himself a new name, Ralph D. Spencer. His life had undergone a great change and he was going to marry Annabel. At this point, an accident occurred and Jimmy had to take out his safe cracking tools once again, but this time not to loot money from a safe, but to break the door of vault to save the life of an innocent little girl. Thus Jimmy was able to keep his promise. Give character sketch of Jimmy Valentine. Jimmy Valentine is intelligent, young, and handsome. He is not a bad fellow at heart and has competition for those in need, and famous safe cracker at the beginning. He established himself as an honest lover and successful businessman. After falling in love at Elmore, he assumed the name Ralph D. Spencer and opens a shoe store. He learning that art of shoes making in prison helps him establish himself as an honest businessman. At the bank, when a little girl gets locked inside the vault, the rescue her at the risk of revealing of his past identity. He uses the burglar's tools to save the girl. He proves himself honest to his new identity. He reformation from a burglar to an honest man with human approach make Ben Price so sympathetic that he does not arrest him. Jimmy Valentine is reality a very interesting character. What role does Ben Price play in the story Jimmy Valentine? Ben Price plays a very significant role. He is the detective with the job of investigation the case of safe cracking and tracking down the criminal. He's intelligent, alert, and effective in analyzing a situation. His power of observation is keen. He appreciates that the person committing crimes like looting public money should be brought to book. His clear analytical mind and resolved nature bring him close to arresting Jimmy Valentine. But he realizes that Jimmy has really charged and he's set to start a real honest life with Annabelle. The man in him urges him to allow Jimmy allies Ralph to get the much needed social rehabilitation. The greatest of his soul is revealed when Jimmy surrenders, but the pretends that he does not know him. Ben Price is really a very likable person. What the new name of Jimmy Valentine assumed at Elmore? But business did he open there? How did Jimmy fare at Elmore? Jimmy Valentine assumed the new name of Ralph D. Spencer at Elmore. He opened a shoe business at Elmore. Jimmy settled down at Elmore as Ralph D. Spencer and opened a flourishing shoe store. He secured a good run of tests. Socially, he was the successful man and made friends there and won the respect of the community. He succeeded in securing the love of Annabel Adams. They got engaged. Even Mr. Adams, the typical hard-working county banker, approved of Jimmy. Next question. What did Jimmy write in his letter to his old friend? What made him write the letter? When Jimmy achieved success as an honest businessman at Elmore, he wrote a letter to his friend in St. Louis. In his letter, he informed his friend that he was then a businessman and was going to marry the finest girl in the world within 2 weeks. He vowed not to do any crooked thing anymore. He had started a new life, so wanted to give his friend the burglar's tools. He therefore asked his friend to meet him at Solly Place on Wednesday night. He wrote his letter to tell his friend clearly about his present position and future plans. He now wanted to lead an honest life. This letter project Jimmy in reformation. What did Jimmy think about going into shoes business? How did the establish himself in Elmore? What did Jimmy Valentine write to his friend after his success? Jimmy had learned the art of shoes making in his prison. So Jimmy thought about going into the shoes business and Elmore. At Elmore, Jimmy took the new name of Ralph D. Spencer and opened a shoe store. He started running successfully. Spencer met Miss Annabel Adams, fell in love with her, and they decided to marry. Because of his good looks and likable nature, he made friends with others. Thus, Jimmy established himself socially and economically at Elmore. Jimmy wrote to his friend Billy how he was making an honest living and of his resolve to live straight. He wrote that he would not do any crooked thing anymore. He informed him of his intention to marry the finest girl on the earth and to present Bill is creed of Barklar's tool. Next question যাচ্ছি 24. What was the risk resolution of the little girl with Annabel. What happened to the young girl? Why did Annabel ask Ralph to the something? How did he save the little girl? The little girl was the nicest of Miss Annabel Adams. At the bank, the elder girl playfully pushes her little sister inside the vault and shut the door. As a result, the little girl was locked in. All well terrified when his little girl got locked inside the new vault, but none could might find a way to bring her out. Annabel thought that her lover, Mr. Ralph Spencer, would be able to perform a miracle. So she asked Ralph to do something to rescue the girl trapped inside the vault. Ralph begs Annabel offer Rose and become Jimmy again. He opened the door of the vault with his drill and other tools of safe cracking and thereby rescue the trapped girl unharmed. Thus, he became a hero of and his transformation was complete. আশা করি তোমরা আজকে জিমি ভ্যালেন্টাইনের কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার বুঝতে পেরেছো। চ্যানেলের সঙ্গে যুক্ত থাকো। নেক্সট ভিডিওতে আমি তোমাদের দ্য গার্ডেন পার্টি থেকে কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার আলোচনা করে দেবো। আর ভিডিওটা ভালো লাগলে বন্ধুদের শেয়ার করে দিও। আচ্ছা বন্ধুরা, ভালো থেকো।